Make way, make way.
Oh,
Drum roll.
Wow.
The basket goes to...
Wow.
You can pull the
Look at
table over.
that.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
pull the
It
table
It
over.
really is.
Grab the
It
table.
really is.
Oh, Mark, that's
I'm afraid to touch
Oh,
it.
this is
Yeah,
a work
don't
of
touch
art,
it.
dear.
I saw the pin flags last night. It was the first time I saw them. And
That is
You know,
spectacular, dear.
That's amazing,
the amount of
Mark.
detail that you have managed to fit into there is incredible.
Is it mounted on that board?
Well, so here's the trick.
Okay.
If you ever need to touch it, you can grab it right like that.
Ah, okay, I see.
Hey.
All right.
Got the whole inside.
Cargo bay door,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Your 76 on
the
there.
drop tank we had in 75, 76.
You got all the
Wow.
That's amazing.
interior.
Just amazing. And then the wheels just fit right down in there.
You
Okay,
got the
very
wheels on the
cool.
chocks. And
Phil,
you got-
Phil, tell us a little bit because this being the grandkids and we all don't know what. Tell us a little bit more about what it is and what.
Well, this is an OV-10, nicknamed Bronco, and it was initially developed for counterinsurgency warfare, where there weren't finished runways and needed to be able to land near the troops on the front line. So the landing gear is specifically designed for landing in dirt areas that actually roll. You don't have to have a smooth surface. It's also a short takeoff capability. That's why this horizontal stabilizer is up here, and it's out of the propeller wash that would come back and affect the effectiveness of the elevator, and so you can rotate and get off the ground faster that way. So short takeoff and landing, rough area landing,
2 people.
and the capabilities are wide-ranging. They also wanted to be able to have a capability of evacuating wounded, and so they have in the center here is a cargo bay, and they could fit 2 stretchers back there, a double-deck bed type thing, and we never actually used that capability. What we did wind up doing, we would take this cargo bay door off, and the reconnaissance troops, because of missile threats, were getting shot down when they would go in for their paradrop into enemy territory. So we tried to work with them and develop a system that we could get them into the area safely, and for us, the crews, to be able to get out safely. And so the system we developed, and I was a CO at the time, we developed a system with the recon people, removed the door, and we took 5 of their troops and with parachutes. And the last guy, they sat in there back to chest, and we put 5 of them back there, and they were like sardines. The last guy, his legs actually were hanging out the back, and had a seat belt across him.
Oh, goodness.
And to beat the missiles from shooting us down, we would go in very, very low. I mean, like 200 feet, 300 feet above the ground. And when we got over the target area, there was several benefits. Got over the target area, we would pull up into a 60-degree nose high attitude. And as we passed through 800 feet, I would flick the switch, the light would come on in the back, and the last guy would unhook his seatbelt, and it was like a sliding board, just out.
Wow.
And so at the time they actually left the aircraft was 1,100 feet. And as soon as the last man was out, I would nose over and head back down to the ground, and we were out of. once or twice we got picked up by radar, but it was so quick they couldn't track us. But the benefit to the recon people is that instead of chugging along and being drop, we actually put them almost in a pack
All
on the
together.
ground, because it came up, they slid out, and they were all together. And when they got on the ground, it was a nice tight. The team was there together. That was one of the things that was fun, and developing stuff like that was a lot of fun. What we did most of the time, the back seat was an aerial observer, and he would be looking for enemy activity and what was reporting it back to the ground troops. The pilot, and sometimes the aerial observer, but usually it was the pilot, also controlled the jets that were coming in with bombs and rockets. And you can see on here we have rocket pods on the side underneath the aircraft. And once we had the target identified for us, we would go in the Bronco and mark the target. Then what we call the fast movers, the jets, they would roll in and put their ordnance on target where our smoke was. We did the same thing with naval gunfire, and we did the same thing with artillery. We could control the air, artillery, and naval gunfire, and because we were up here and could see what was going on and control all of that action onto the enemy positions. That was our biggest task, and because of that we were called tactical air coordinators. So you earned that title. It was a qualification that our pilots would work towards. At night we would also have pods of flares, and we would go in and drop flies over the target area so that the fast movers could see the targets as they rolled in. That was kind of cool. I mean, these flares were they put out some light. It was like daylight when these flares went off, and they were fun type missions. We also had machine guns that we could put ordnance on target. We had rockets that, in addition to the smoke rockets for marking targets, we had explosive rockets to also put on enemy positions. We could do some of that. At one point, we tested a 20 millimeter machine gun, which was, I mean, the rounds in that pretty close to this size, and probably that much was the explosive head in the thing, and it would really rip up a
I want
target.
one for my car.
And